Let's talk about Russell Wilson. We know that he's going into the last year of his deal, and he would love to get a long-term deal, an extension. We haven't heard much toward those ends. What can you tell us? Are they talking?
Yeah, well, what we know for a fact is that both sides have said that there is a firm, hard deadline, that they have to get this done before the team gets on the field Friday. And if they don't, there will be no talks during the season about a contract extension. The big issue here is two things: the structure of the contract and the guarantees. They can't come to an agreement on this. If they don't get it done by Friday, then right now at this point, nothing happens after that. And I know that Russell's agent is going to be in Seattle this week, so there will be face-to-face talks during that time.
How about the Seahawks and Bobby Wagner? What's going on there?
Well, here's the thing with Bobby Wagner. They set aside $20+ million for Russell's contract to get done. Bobby Wagner is an integral part of that defense, and they want to get him done. He's a free agent also next year. They do not want Russell Wilson and Bobby Wagner both going into next year as unrestricted free agents. So they have been having contract talks with Bobby Wagner. I'm told they have proceeded well, and there is an outside chance that they could actually get a deal done before the end of the week. If that happens, that's significant. Here's the other thing why Russell's important. If they don't get Russell done, they're going to take the $20 million that they've set aside for him and possibly use it on free agents. There are a couple that they're intrigued by. One is defensive end Dwight Freeney. The other is wide receiver Reggie Wayne. So if Russell's contract doesn't get done by Friday, potentially look for the Seahawks to start to supplement their roster with some veteran free agents who are out there.
Interesting.
Wow. Still, you think it's still very unlikely that he plays for anyone but the Seahawks in the future? I know some of our guys are, well, some of our guys are saying, look, this is just a matter of when, not
future.
if, after this season.
Next year, I believe he'll be in Seattle.
Yeah.
And look, we can get into the whole discussion about whether or not it's smart for him to play this out and to not sign a long-term extension, because he wants real guarantees in that contract for skill and injury. Right now, the Seahawks, most of their guarantees are tied up into injury. Russell wants skill and injury. Right now, the Seahawks aren't willing to change the structure of the contracts that they've done for past players, for Richard Sherman, for Earl Thomas, those guys. So it's an interesting standoff right now. Someone's going to have to blink. And everything I'm hearing right now is that the Seahawks are not going to blink in terms of the way they do business. They are going to maintain the structure of the contracts the way they've done them in the past.
Yeah, or else they'll have a line out the door.
Absolutely.
That's the way it worked.
Yeah.
Joe Flacco bet on himself, and it worked out.
He did.
But Russell's stock may be as high. If he doesn't make it back to the Super Bowl, he doesn't live up to what he's done the previous two seasons.
He'll live up to it. But here's the thing, Jay. If he were to play it out, and let's say they franchised him for a couple of years.
Right.
Let's just use round numbers. Year one, $20 million. Year two, it would be $24 million. So in essence, he would earn $44 million over 2 years. They would not franchise him a third year, because it would be too expensive. So they would then either have to pay him what he wants, or he would hit the open market. Imagine what that frenzy would be like.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It would be a frenzy.
It is good news to hear Bobby Wagner finally getting his due.
Well, we
I
hope.
like that.
We hope.
It looks,
but it's looking good.